Welcome to Zelda 2 Adventure of Link walkthrough. If you've come here for my Legend of Zelda walkthrough, you'll notice I'm actually speaking this time. It's to actually make it easier on you guys because NES games are hard to make walkthroughs for if you're not talking. This time, Link has actually been wandering around for the last few years. He's come back to Hyrule because he found the symbol of Hyrule on the back of his hand, and it led him to Zelda here. Yes, that is the original Zelda, put to sleep, and our goal is to take 6 crystals, which you'll probably remember from A Link to the Past, if you've played it before, and put it in palaces throughout Hyrule. So our first goal is to go to Parapa Palace, which is to the northeast of us. Before we do that, we have to follow this road south to Rauru Village. Two things you have to do here. First off, you need to know where the healing woman is. That'll be this woman here. She always looks like that. She's always basically in front of a house. All you have to do is talk to her. And you can actually skip the text if you like, and just press up to go into the house. The only way you can enter homes is if the door is open. If it's closed, you need to actually go into the next segment of town or exit the town and come back in and talk to the person again. For our case, we need to actually head into the second segment past this wall. Walk to the second house. You'll notice it by it being basically a gray brick house, and a woman will come out. Talk to her, and her father should want to speak with you. Wait for her to enter the door and go in. All you have to do from now is walk all the way right until you get into the basement. Speak to the wizard at the end and you'll actually gain your first spell. Shield will be one of your more useful spells since it cuts the amount of damage you take. The number next to the spell name is the amount of magic you'll be using. 32 at this level will be about 2 bars of your magic right now. So press start and continue left and exit Rauru Village. From here you're going to want to follow the road northeast to the cave just to our right. And if you actually end up in random encounters, this is where you're going to learn to fight, by the way. A is to slash, B is to jump. Simple. In order to kill these spiders, make sure they're coming down at your head, move a little bit, and keep slashing. They'll take about 1 hit to kill. As for these ones here who are throwing the spears, all you have to do is run up to him, hit him with the sword twice, and he will die. And the numbers you actually see popping out of them are the number of points you get, but in our case, they are actually experience points. If you look to the top right, that shows how much experience points you have at the time. The 50 you see is how much experience points you need to reach the next level of your magic, attack, or your life. We'll go more into that once I actually level up. Caves will be dark until you finish Parapa Palace, and we get the count from there. On the way to the exit here, you're going to need to watch the floors for a creature called a Louder. You can actually tell where it is if you look closely at the ground. You'll actually see it moving. All you have to do is bend over and slash until you kill it. Once you're done that, continue to the exit. And here we are on Parapa Desert. Now, our goal is Parapa Palace to the north of us now, but first off, we're going to want to head south for Heart Container. Watch out for the bubbles as they will actually damage you, and if you're not careful, they will knock you directly into the water, which will kill you, causing you to lose 1 life. Unlike the first Legend of Zelda, you don't automatically die. You actually have 3 lives from the beginning. You can actually increase your life count by finding a Link doll throughout the game. But if you do run out of lives, the game is completely over, and our enemy from the Legend of Zelda will actually return, and that enemy is Ganon, who we killed with the silver arrow. Now, as you notice, my health is really low. There's a good way to solve that problem. This orange gorilla here will constantly throw boomerangs at you. What you must not do is jump at the heart while it's still alive. If you jump at the heart while it's still alive, you will raise it above your head. Your health will increase as well as your max health, but the gorilla will continue attacking and you will still continue to take damage. In order to avoid that, what you're going to do is jump right at the gorilla and kill it. Now, once everything's all clear, jump on the heart, and your health bar will increase by 1. There are a total of 4 heart containers and 4 magic containers. We'll find a magic container after we complete Parapa Palace, but make sure you get this heart container first since it's very valuable to have before entering Parapa Palace. Now all you have to do is continue up the desert again and go straight north. Alright guys, welcome to your first palace. All you have to do is jump over the steps and go to elevator number 1. There are a total of 3 elevators, and just remember that this is elevator number 1. First off, you're going to head left, killing all these kobolds that come charging at you, or jumping over their head. You can completely avoid them since they give you no experience points. The blue bots up top are rather annoying. They will respawn even if you kill them. This red Stalfos here, he can't be killed if you do a high attack. You must bend down and attack its lower body. And the only way to do it successfully without taking too much damage is to run, bend down, turn around, bend down, and slash again, over and over until he dies. Now this is the leveling system that they have implemented. The number next to the symbol, which will be the sword, potion, and the heart, represent how much experience points you need in order to level that up. It's a little bit complicated, but just note that every time you select one of them, the amount of experience needed will increase. So my recommendation is to increase life at least twice, or if you want to increase your attack, increase that twice. But don't increase your magic just yet. And you'll always know the level of your attack, magic, or life by the number next to your stat at the top of the screen. So continue left until you get this kobold and make sure you kill him. In order to pick up keys, you need to actually attack it. Other items you find around the palaces will just need you to step on them. And be careful with these blue bots, they tend to jump down without you realizing it. And take note of these blue vases here. Will recover your magic by a small amount. When you find red vases, they will increase your magic by a large amount, possibly increasing it to the max depending on your level. So continue all the way to the right past elevator number 1. So just continue right and you'll find a bubble here. He cannot be killed at all, but if you attack it, it will actually stun it for a second, which is okay, but not really necessary. Your best bet is to always constantly avoid those things. In this room here, Stalfoses will drop from the sky. So make sure to charge at it, bend down, and attack it. That's really the only surefire way of destroying it. Avoid going down this elevator number 2 here for now. We're going to come right back to it. Kill this next Stalfos, the exact same way you've been killing the others. Continue to next room. In this room, there's a bubble that'll bounce around. It's not really scary, since there's only one of them and they're easily dodged. Kill the Stalfos here, and continue right until elevator number 3. Take the elevator number 3 up, avoid taking a ferry if you did continue right a bit, and kill all the kobolds that are coming right at your face. Grab the key, and continue right. At the end of this room will be something called a Gooma. It'll be similar to a Hammer Brother that you face off in Super Mario. Now wait for there to be a slight gap in its attack. After that you can jump right on in and hit its face to push it backwards, and just stand near the middle of this little hole in order to have it walk right into your slashes. Now a nice little feature of the leveling system, you can actually hit cancel and save your experience for leveling up another statistic. Leveling magic is rather useless right now. You're going to want to save until you reach 200 experience. You can actually hit the statue for a red vase. Like I said, this will recover a large portion of your magic. Make sure you get that key before you leave, since you'll need it in order to get into the boss room. And continue back to elevator number 3. If you head right, you'll actually find a ferry here. If you haven't taken it, good on you. Because if you take elevator number 3 down, you're fighting 3 strong enemies, and you're going to want to save that ferry for after that battle, since there is actually a boss after them. Do your best to keep that ferry alive, and head back to elevator number 2. Head down from elevator number 2 into a room with a ton of magic bubbles. Your best bet for taking minimal damage is to actually use your shield spell. Now there's a weird little thing where you actually have to open up your menu by pressing start, and then that'll activate the spell. Then you can press select in order to activate the spell. I recommend using it since you'll actually take quite a bit of damage since these bubbles are unavoidable. Do your best to avoid them, but know that you'll probably get hit, so don't freak out too much. As for these blue bots here, you're going to want to wait for them to come down and attack you. Otherwise, try and jump up when they are least likely to attack you, which is a hard thing to do. Again, we're going to save for 200 experience. In the middle of this bridge will be your first encounter with a point bag. You'll notice it by it looking like a bag with a P on the front. That'll give you 50 free experiences, otherwise it'll be 200. 200 will normally drop in the Stalfos, the Guma, or the Iron Knuckle, which you'll find just past this room. Now in order to get this P bag without falling to your death into the lava, you need to be jumping and try and land in front of the P bag, duck, and attack right away, and immediately afterwards you're going to need to jump forward. Otherwise you will definitely fall into lava, so be careful about that. So now we got 200 experience, I will increase my attack, and now it'll take me one less hit to kill an enemy. Watch out for the Guma up front, do not stop until you actually get within its circle of attack. And do the same tactic you did before, but this time move up in increments to avoid hitting the Guma. If you're lucky, you got a 200 P bag like I did. So leveling up your magic, if you want to, you can do it now because there is actually an Iron Knuckle just ahead like I said, and he's rather tough. Having shield active will make things so much easier and you'll be less likely to die. So activate your shield and move forward. Now there's only one surefire way to kick his butt. Jump up, and as you're landing, you need to attack, since attacking his helmet will actually give you the best chance of hitting him, since he has a shield that can actually block high attacks and low attacks at random. I will level up life again and unlock the door for the candle here. So after you get the candle, continue back to elevator number 2 and know that you're going to have to go to the magic bubble room again. From here, you're going to want to go back to elevator number 3, the one next to the ferry. And like I said, unless you're hurting for health, do not grab this fairy. The Iron Knuckle is again at the bottom, and 2 red Stalfos are there. Now, in order to kill this Iron Knuckle here, you need to actually time it differently, since you have very little room to jump. The way I do it is I jump and jump a little forward and attack as I go down. It's a lot more simpler, and standing still and attacking its face will more than likely force you to take damage and likely get you killed. As you've seen, it just worked perfectly. Now move ahead a little bit to fight some red Stalfos, stay near the bottom and move up one step at a time as you hit it backwards. Now that you've done that, if you need the fairy now, you can head right back up to it and come back down here when you're ready to go. As you can see from the throwing maces, there's one more Guma to deal with. Follow the same tactic, but make sure you're actually close to it when you attack. Now the final Iron Knuckle is just ahead. Attack it as you normally would. And there you go, a point bag. Save it for your life or your attack. In this room is the Horsehead boss. Alright, so the first boss here in the Parapa Palace is, as you expect, easiest. All you need to do is follow the same tactic you use against the Iron Knuckle, which is to jump up, hit his head, and force it backwards. Getting hit by its mace is actually not the ideal way to fight him. If you find things are a little too difficult, cast your shield spell, and it'll make things easier, since you'll take less damage. After that, it's just continually hitting his head, waiting for him to attack, and coming right back at his face. This is pretty much your pivotal moment. Leveling up is the easiest right now, so you can actually skip this putting the crystal into the statue and get all your stats up to 1000 experience points. It doesn't take much to do, just a couple runs of Parapa Palace will get it done for you. And the great thing is, once you put the crystal into the statue, your experience points will max out so you can level up one more stat after that. So that's what I recommend you doing. But if you're just looking to continue along with the story, walk towards the statue, and you'll continue on. The unfortunate thing is you cannot re-enter Parapa Palace as soon as you put the crystal in, since everything gets completely sealed off. Now for those of you wanting to farm, all you need to do is run forward, jump over the statue, and that's it. Exit to the right and Parapa Palace will not be sealed. Continue doing it over and over and over again until you get to 1000 experience for each stat, and then put your crystal in. At that point, it's a wasted effort trying to farm. So guys, thanks for watching Zelda 2 Adventures of Link walkthrough. I'll see you guys in the next one, where we'll find ourselves a magic container, a statue, and we'll find Ruto Town and head down into Death Mountain.